everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have my husband here and welcome to our closet because I am going to quickly go through this massive book haul that I am getting rid of. And I went through all my shelves a couple weeks ago and went ahead and just did all of that. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Before we do, definitely make sure that you head on over to my Patreon so you can be a member, participate in our monthly book club, talk about books with me, get content that you wouldn't get anywhere else. I do giveaways on there. Also, make sure that you like and subscribe. Make sure that you don't miss any of my future content that will be coming up. And then also make sure that you head on over to my Goodreads or my Instagram if you want to check out any of my reviews or follow me on there. Everything is linked down below in the description. Here is my wonderful husband, John.
Hi.
He's going to be handing me books because this is a wild experience. So let's just get into it. I'm not going to go into what the books are about or why I'm getting rid of them. Just know that either A, I've read them and I no longer want them on my shelves, or B, I have DNF'd the books, or C, I have gotten them and then now I am no longer interested in reading them. So let's quickly just fly through this Book Unhaul. The first book is Dissolution by C.J. Sansom. And then I have Brandon Sanderson's Skyward Flight that I'm getting rid of. This is like the 3 novellas in that series. You have Don't Hate the Player by Alexis Ned. I do suggest this book to anybody who wants to read it. It's YA and it's a romance and it's so good. We have The Dill by L. Kennedy. I just have multiple copies of them, so I don't need this one. We're not going to talk about what you're expecting when you're expecting. We have The Winter King by Bernard Cornwell, and then also in that series we have Excalibur. I don't know which one goes first, but we have those. And then I only have 2 paperbacks. I have World After by Susan E. and Angel Fall by Susan E. but I don't have The End of Days. So I don't know what that was about, but I have the Fairy Loot edition, so I don't need multiple copies of that. Okay, so we have Mary Queen of Scots by Alison Weir. I love historicals and I love the Tudor time period, but I just don't think I'm ever going to get to this. We have The Secrets of Lizzie Borden by Brandy Purdy. I did read this. It was okay. Then you have like a thriller, The Titanic Secret by Clive Cussler. I got it because I'm really obsessed with the Titanic and never read it. You have Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I was wanting to read this because I think Fairy Loot or Bookish Box was doing a set, but I just never got to it, so I just don't think I'm ever going to read them. Then you have To All the Boys That I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I wanted to read this because I know there's a lot of people that love this series. I don't gravitate towards it at all. Then you have Ghost Hunters by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Again, I was wanting to read this because I'm an Ed and Lorraine Warren fan, but I'm just never going to get to it because I don't really like horror or anything. Then you have The Infernal City by Greg Keyes. This is a Elder Scrolls novel. I may end up keeping this. I don't know. I'm going to put it on my maybe pile because I do play the Elder Scrolls with me and my husband, but I don't know if I'm ever going to read this book. So this might be a maybe. I might set it over here because I might end up keeping it. I don't know. Then you have Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I had picked this up at a thrift shop and just don't gravitate towards it. Beautiful Bad by Annie Ward. And then we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. You already know how I feel about this book. Then you have The Flyaways by A.R. Hadley. I absolutely love this. I got it from the author, but I had a good time, and I want someone else to have a good time with it. You have Magic and Light by Krista Street. This is a terrible series. I do not suggest ever picking it up. And then you have Emboldened, which is the book 2 in the series that my husband had picked out for me, which is called Forbidden. I loved it. It just wasn't a 5-star read for me, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. And then let me grab some more books that we have. So the little bookstore on Heart Lake Lane. I got this from the publisher, just like Return to Hummingbird Way by Reese Ryan. I got this one from the publisher as well. Romeo by Elise Title. This was like 25 cents at my used bookstore, and I was going to read it, but we're just not going to do it. The Kingdom by Amanda Stevens. I don't know where I got this book at. The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. I was going to read the Bridgerton series. However, I'm not drawn to historicals anymore, so we're just going to let that go. Close Encounters of the Third Kind by Steven Spielberg. A book I don't want to read. And then The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is a YA, I believe, and I'm just not wanting to read that. And then you have Destined by Mila Stellan. I got this whenever I ARC read it several years ago. It's okay. Just not want to keep it. You have Craving by Helen Hart. I absolutely love her Follow Me series, but this one just didn't hit the mark for me. Then you have Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevers. I don't even know what book this is in the series, but I'm just not gonna read it. Then you also have Starsight and Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. These books, my husband picked up this one for me because I'm a big Brandon Sanderson fan, but the series did not hit for me at all. And then Amanda Boucher's Night Chaser. Y'all already know how I feel about that. I need to give her another shot on a different book. We have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I actually ended up keeping the Fairy Loot edition of this because it's absolutely amazing, so I don't need 2 copies. Then we have The Wilder Women by Ruth Emmy Lang. I think this is like a literary fiction, and I'm not into literary fiction, so I'm just going to end up letting this go. You have The London Seance Society by Sarah Pinner. I got this from Book of the Month, and I don't feel like I'm ever going to gravitate towards it. Then, let me grab this stack. Then you have Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I know that Neil Gaiman has a lot of good books. I'm just not into his writing. You have Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. Again, I'm just not going to read any horror. Dark Moon Defender by Sharon Shin. This is a fantasy that I picked up at my secondhand bookstore. And then we have Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. My husband picked this out for me. I did end up reading it, but I don't think I want to continue on with the series. And then I think this is like the complete Lord of the Rings, like all 3 books in here. So I'm going to just go ahead and say goodbye to that. And then let me grab another stack here. So we have Forbidden, which is the book that my husband picked out by Siri James and Ryan M. James back in September. I loved this book series. It's just not one that I want to keep. The Falcon's Eyes. I got this from the publisher by Francesca Stanfill. And then I don't know where this one came from, but The Lost Legends by Kate Marie. Don't know where it came from, but I just don't want to read it. Then we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I was going to read this as well, but again, it's not a book that I'm gravitating towards. When You Were Mine by Rebecca Searle. I don't even know what this book's about or where I got it at, so I'm going to get rid of that. You have Remember Me by Christopher Pike. I think this is 3 books in one on here. It has Remember Me, The Return, and The Last Story. And then I do have quite a few books from Lurleen McDaniel, which I absolutely loved Lurleen McDaniel whenever I was in high school. There was a book called Don't Die My Love. But this one is Time to Let Go, Lifted Up by Angels, Let Him Live, For Better, For Worse, Forever, Till Death Do Us Part, and Angel of Hope. I'm just not going to read them ever again, so I'm going to get rid of those. Then we have The Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter by Seth Graham Smith. I'm not going to read that. You have Snow White Blood Red by Ellen Datlow and Terry Windling. I don't even know what that book's about. We have Last Violent Call by Chloe Gong. I have the Fairy Loot edition, so I don't need two of them. We have Hotel Magnifique by Emily Taylor. Picked it up again at my secondhand bookstore, and I'm just not going to read it. We have Calico Joe by John Grisham. And then we have Paranormalcy by Kirsten White. I have 3 books of this series in hardback, so I don't need the paperback on it. Again, The Children of Henry VIII by Allison Weir, another historical that I love. Inferno by Dan Brown. I've read this book. It's absolutely amazing. Let me go see what my dogs are barking. Okay, so I don't know what they were barking about, but we got that taken care of. Then I'm going to be getting rid of Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. I have like so many copies of this. Darling Girl by Liz Mikulski. I heard that it's like a literary fiction, and I'm just not into literary fiction. We have Wings of Once Cursed and Bound by Piper J. Drake. We have Winter Song by S.J. Jones. My Dream Lover by David Navaria. And then also Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. And then I have some of these books are my grandma's. She passed away several years ago. We have Star Signs. I don't know what that is about. And then we have Twilight Zone. So I don't think I need to keep them. I kept some of her books, but not all of them. And then we also have the whole trilogy of Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. We have Wolf Hall, Bringing Up the Bodies, and The Mirror and the Light, which is all about Thomas Cromwell in Henry VIII's court. And then we have Intended Bondmates by D. Leiber. If You Only Knew by Chelsea Klein. And then The Supernaturalist by Eoin Colfer, I think is how you say it. We have Shatter Me by Tahara Mafi. I have multiple copies of this, so I don't need that. We have One Less Stop by Casey McQuiston. I never got to read this, but I don't think I'm going to end up enjoying it. I have Love Theoretically, which I did just get in July, but I have the Illumicrate edition, so I don't need another copy of it. And then also Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. I have Fairy Loot's edition of this, so I really don't need multiple copies. And then A Wilderness of Stars by Shay Earnshaw. I was going to read this, however, I've heard some things about it and I'm not interested anymore. I am getting rid of 2 arcs. I have Writers and Lovers by Lily King and Secret of the Moonconch by David Bowles. And then I have 2 more books over there. One's like astrology and one is Goodnight Husband, Goodnight Wife. I don't know where they came from, so we're not even going to talk about those. I'm going to grab my special editions. All right, so we've switched around here. I have Between Wrath and Mercy by Jess Wisecup. My husband's dropping books over there.
Story of my life.
But y'all know how I feel about this one. The 7 Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb I'm getting rid of. Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. And then I have Court of Dragons by Frost K. I think I heard that she plagiarized this. I don't know. I could be wrong. It might be a different author. We have Heart of Thorns by Bree Barton. And then we have This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. This one I think I might hold on to because I've heard some things about it. So I'm going to put this in my maybe pile. And then we have City of Lost Chances by Adrienne Tchaikovsky, which is a gorgeous edition, you guys. Beautiful edition. It came from Waterstones, but not going to read it. You have The City of Dusk by Tara Sim. And then This Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. Let's see. Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn. Broken Blade by Melissa Blair. Oh, The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford. I DNF'd this book, so it's going bye-bye. Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune. And then we have Dark King and Fallen King by C.N. Crawford. We have The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. And then we have Hooked, Scarred, and Wretched by Emily McIntyre. I ended up not liking Hooked as much. I am getting rid of my tour edition of House of Sky and Breath. I have 2 of them, so I don't need more than one. I have What Lies Beyond the Veil by Harper L. Woods. And then I have Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. We have Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This one is called Fighting Destiny by Amelia Hutchins. It comes with its own slipcase. And then we have Shield Maiden by Sharon Emmerichs. Lore by Alexandra Bracken. And then we have Bright Heart and Fireheart by Emma Hamm. We have Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. River of Shadows by Karina Halley. And then my Books A Million exclusive edition of Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. And then I have, let me move you and show you. All of these are Agatha Christie books from my grandma. So I'm getting rid of those as well. So that is all the books that I am getting rid of. I'm going to tally these up and put them in the title of this video so I can see how many books I actually got off of my shelf. But thanks for joining me. I'm sorry that I didn't really go into a whole lot about what these books are about or why I'm getting rid of them. There's just way too many, and to be honest, like, either I DNF'd them, I no longer want to read them, you know, I want them to find new homes. I want them to be cherished and everything, so I feel like it's time to say goodbye to them. So anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and definitely catch me in my weekly vlog coming on Tuesday. Bye!